Good afternoon, folks. This is Robert Chappell, Executive Editor of Madison365, with your daily update for today, which is Wednesday, July 28th. So we're going to talk a little COVID news first because it's just not good, and then we'll get to some other sort of news of the day around the Madison area, around Wisconsin. Today, we're looking at 792 new cases. It's a little bit lower than yesterday. Yesterday we had 983. But still, 792 is a lot. Our 7-day average has gone up to 478 cases per day. I would anticipate that to continue to rise. If this trend continues, it'll be over 800, within a week, which is not great. The number that concerns me more is the percent of positive tests, which is rising. And rising is bad enough, right? We want that to be below 3.0, right? So, and it's been going up, and it is now going up faster every day. So it is now at 5.3%. Yesterday it was 4.5, and I thought that was pretty bad. It was going up like 1/10 of a percentage point. It was like from 1.0 to 1.1, right? And it was like 2.5 to 2.6, and now it's gone from 3.3 to 5.3 in 1 week. Okay, last Wednesday it was 3.3. Today it is 5.3. A year ago, see if I can find this easily, it was 5.5. So what does that tell you? What I've been saying lately is, things are worse than they were a month ago, but they're better than they were a year ago, right? Because remember last year, July was when things kind of took a turn and started to get worse, and then everything spiked in September, October, and that spike lasted into January. So I was a little bit worried that there was going to be another July surge, but I comforted myself thinking, like, even if it seems like there's a bit of a surge right now, it's not as bad as the surge last year. But now it kind of is. Last year at this time, our average of new cases was higher. It was like 900 new cases per day was the average a year ago this week. But if we continue this trend, like we'll be at 900 cases a day by next week, right? So we're only about a week behind last year. Excuse me. So none of that is good news. It is going up, and it's going up quickly. That's the worst part. That it's not just incrementally creeping up, but it is spiking, right? Which is not good at all. Okay, let's not dwell on it though. Let's just continue. We have not seen a significant increase in deaths. We haven't seen any increase in deaths, which is good, which we won't see. Now, I was looking at this yesterday. Last year, we saw that this sort of surge begin in July. We didn't see an increase in deaths until September. Okay, so I would anticipate if there's going to be an increase in deaths, we wouldn't see it till late August, early September. We at this rate, if the infection fatality rate holds, which is a little bit more than 1%. So those 800 and what did we say today? Was the cases 792? You'd expect like 8 of those people will not make it, and 9 or 10 of the people who got tested positive yesterday won't make it, right? Which would mean we'd be seeing 8, 9 deaths a day about a month from now. Right now we're at 2. And if that continues to go up, last year we saw it got to 30 really quickly, and then it got finally up to 60 at one point. If there's a possibility that this new round of infection, this Delta variant, is infecting vaccinated people who are testing positive but not at risk of death, that we could see a surge in cases without a corresponding surge in deaths, that might be okay. Now, we are seeing a slight increase in hospitalizations. We now have 195 people hospitalized, which is not very many still, right? That's not enough to like overburden the hospital system or anything like that, which we were very close to that last year. Remember, we had to open up a whole, like a field hospital and all that stuff. We're not at that point, but this is an indication that the surge in cases is leading to more hospitalizations, which means that the cases that are surging are just as severe as the ones we saw last year, pre-vaccine. Right, so we had 195 in the hospital today. That's 9 more than yesterday. That's 52 more than a week ago. 58 of those are in ICU. That's 21 more than a week ago. So again, that's going up. That increase is not quite as sharp as the increase in positive test rate. Right. Okay, that is all I've got for you right now. The other thing I'll mention is we will keep an eye on this tomorrow, but President Biden is expected to give a address of some kind tomorrow about COVID, during which he's expected, this is reporting that we're getting from Washington Post and some other sources, that that he'll announce a vaccine requirement for federal employees. And the thinking right now is, if you don't want to get a vaccine, if you're a federal employee and you don't want to get a vaccine, they're not going to fire you, but they will require you then to get rigorous and regular testing, and they might restrict you in terms of where you can go, your travel, that kind of stuff. So, I don't know if that'll help a lot. It's millions of people, most of whom are already vaccinated. Like the federal workforce has been pretty good about getting vaccinated. But first of all, it is a lot of people. Secondly, it's sort of a lead by example. That if the federal government can require employees to be vaccinated, maybe other large employers, maybe University of Wisconsin, maybe the state of Wisconsin, maybe the city of Madison, city of Milwaukee, maybe Walmart, maybe Boeing. Well, that's the other thing. The question, it seems as if some people are reporting that there's also going to be a vaccine requirement for contractors, which would expand the pool considerably. Like half the city of Seattle works for Boeing, right? Not half, but you know what I mean. So we will be tuned to that announcement. We'll pick up the CNN coverage of that for you. I think it would be meaningful. It would make a meaningful dent, just from the leading by example part. So once the federal government does it, then other corporate folks feel more comfortable saying we're going to also require a vaccine. And I'm hoping that pushes a surge in vaccinations. In Wisconsin, interestingly, we are still giving more vaccine shots per day than we're seeing new cases per day. So, like technically, like in the race to herd immunity, vaccine is still ahead. We're at about 5,600 vaccine doses given per day in the past 7 days, while we're seeing 458 new positive cases. So we're giving more than 10 times as many shots as we're identifying positive cases right now on a daily basis. I guess that's good. Still not going to get the herd immunity at that speed. We're just over 50%. I've gotten one shot, just under 50% have gotten both shots. So we'll still continue to struggle with the vaccines. and getting those done. So if you have any questions about any of that, drop them in the comments. When we get back to questions, I'm going to take a short pause, hear a word from our sponsor, Pass AmeriCorps, and I've got some just a few items of local news for you that you will want to know about as you go about your evening. Don't scroll away. Give me 15 seconds, and I'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Megumi. I serve at AmeriCorps because it is the perfect opportunity to work with middle school students and to grow in important skills such as leadership, responsibility, and communication. You can serve too. Learn more and apply at www.passamericorps.org.
Okay, thanks for sticking with me. This morning on the website, we have the third installment of our list of the 24 most influential Native American leaders in Wisconsin. We do these 4 times a year. We do a Native American list, an Asian American list, a Black Power list, and a Latino list. And we started doing these, we started with the Black Power list all the way back in 2016. We did 28 people, and everybody said, you can't keep doing that because you'll run out of people. And we haven't yet. So there's all sorts of people from all sorts of ethnicities, people from every one of our 11 recognized nations, as well as some other folks who are enrolled in nations that are not based in Wisconsin. A wide range of people. Some of these folks are leaders within the indigenous communities. Some of them are leaders outside those indigenous communities. For example, in the middle at top there is Ron Jetty. He's an education executive. He's the head of the IT Academy at the University of Wisconsin. Marie Summers there in the bottom center is a councilwoman with the United Nations. So you got a range of folks that you should know. Give it a read. Reach out if they're in your network. These folks are from all across Wisconsin. So it's good reading. It's good to know those folks. Just put them on your radar so you are aware of those folks. Also on the site this morning, CrossFit Games are in Madison. They're canceled last year, but they're back. And Elijah E.Z. Muhammad, former college basketball player at Tennessee Tech, now one of the nation's leading CrossFit athletes, stopped by the Goodman Community Center yesterday morning before the beginning of the CrossFit Games and did some workout, some exercise with some of the kids there. And it's really cool to see this sort of, nationally known athlete. He's also the founder of Project Onyx. But he's here to compete in the CrossFit Games, but he's also here to spread do some good work with the kids in the community. So it's a cool story. Dave Dahmer has that story for us. Again at Madison365.org. Also, this is Jamie Sims, who is he was a teacher and he was assistant principal and he was principal of Black Hawk Middle School, and now in Middleton, and now he has ascended and is the new athletic director for the Middleton Crosspoint School District, and which is a big deal. It's a big school district, really strong athletic program. So our reporter Mackenzie Crum spoke with him about the job and about what he envisions for the Middleton Athletic Department. It's a good read. Give it a minute of your time. Finally, today, this is a story that I haven't actually even done a story on yet. But this is an engineer named Dan Chatek. He works for Ultratech in Madison. He lives in Monona. And he's been working from home. A lot of time been working in the office 1 or 2 days a week. And he was told on Tuesday by his HR people that they asked him basically not to wear this mask anymore because it was a political statement. And he argued that it wasn't. And he said that the dress code didn't say anything about political statements. And the HR person said, well, I'm going to have to change the dress code. So he called me. I talked to him this morning. And he basically said that, they asked me nicely not to wear it, but I'm not going to comply. I'm going to wear it because there's nothing in the rules against it. And it's important. It's important to him. Interestingly, he cited, I did a story on Keontae Furge, if you remember this from last summer in Monona, Wisconsin. A guy was living at a house, like this house that he lived in, and a neighbor called police saying there's a suspicious man in this house on this porch, and police walked in without knocking and drew their weapons. It really traumatized this kid, and that prompted a big, reckoning within the city of Monona about their racial equity, and they're going to do the work now, I guess, apparently. But when that whole thing happened, Dan Chatek lives right next to there and it was very upsetting. He didn't like it. So he's been wearing this Black Lives Matter thing to work. HR told him not to wear it anymore. So he called me. He talked to some other organizations. So I talked to him this morning. I got off the phone with him. I called their HR people just to confirm, and ask what the policy is. Why did you ask him to take it off, etc. And I identified myself, and this is a little bit of a behind the scenes of journalism thing, but I didn't beat around the bush at all. I just said, I got a call from one of your employees named Dan Chatek, I just said, one of your employees who was told not to wear a Black Lives Matter mask, and she's like, "Oh, I don't know what employer you're talking about." Yeah, you do. It was yesterday. So then I said, I just want to talk to you for a minute about the policy and whatever. And Dan Chatek is the guy's name, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I know." And so then now suddenly she remembers, and she said, "Well, I'm in a meeting right now." I don't think you're in a meeting, but I'll call you back. So she took my number, and an hour later, Dan got an email from her saying, "Your mask is fine. You're allowed to wear it." So I'll probably still try to talk to them, ask about that reversal of policy, and we'll see what happens. Not, sometimes people try to get away with something, and then as soon as they get a call from a reporter, they don't try to get away with it anymore. All right, so that's what journalism does, right? What we like to say is, this is what Andy Hall at Wisconsin Watch, this is his favorite saying: we comfort the afflicted and we afflict the comfortable. And I did a little affliction of the comfortable today, and it resolved the problem. And that's what we do here. We do that for you. We do that for the community. And I would love for you, and I see Lorraine commenting. It was Lorraine yesterday who asked about the link to join the fam. And thanks, Allison. Allison, call me later. Alice and Joshua, call me when I'm done here, will you? I want to know more about that. Anyway, Lorraine asked for the link to join the fam, and I put it in there, and she joined. And now Lorraine is a member of the fam officially. And Lorraine, I appreciate that very much. Lorraine McNamara McGraw, you too can join the fam, because the stuff that we do here, we don't charge you for it, and we never will. And it's just like against our ethics, and I guess it's just our stance that everybody should be informed all the time. With all this COVID information going on, everything that's happening, you need to know about it. So, and it's just unethical, I think, to restrict that to those who can pay for it. So, but it costs us money to produce, right? The journalists are professionals. I'm a professional. I've been doing this a long time. I feel old every time I say I've been doing this almost 30 years. And we all get salaries, right? We pay somebody a few $100s a month just to keep the site live. We when we have events, we pay video people to do the events. We pay for venues and stuff like that. And all of that is possible because we have strong support of the community, and we have people who are part of our fam. So if you go to the fam website there, Madison365.org/the-fam, the link is in the comments. Lorraine. Yes, Lorraine. Jill, our director of business development, who oversees the fam, texted me today, and she was so excited. She said, "Lorraine from your show. She's watching a show. She joined the fam." And so yes, you'll get. I think I don't know. We don't really have a membership card, but you're going to get a sticker, like with this logo on it, that you can put on the back of your laptop or whatever you want to do. And there'll be some other stuff you'll be getting too as well. Starting next week, you'll get a special announcement ahead of time. So more on that later. But again, it's people like Lorraine who keep the lights on, keep things going, who keep us in the black, so to speak, and just have that buy-in and that support financially and just not only financially but just the connection. I've said this before, that a lot of news outlets think about you as the audience, right? It's kind of a one-way flow of like we have the information, we give it to you. Aren't you happy now? We think of you more as our community, our family. This is a back and forth. This is why I do this live. This is why I don't like record this in the morning and then put it up later. This is why I do it live, because I want to hear your questions. I want to hear what you're concerned about. I want to know what's important to you, and I want to listen and I want to hear you, and so that I can go and figure out what's going on that you want to know and bring it back to you, right? And that's all part of this, and we all like pitch in to make it happen, right? So if you can join the fam, that's your way to pitch in and make it all happen and really be part of that community. So appreciate your help. Appreciate you, Lorraine. And I'm running late now, so I got to go feed children and things. So have a wonderful evening. Be safe out there. Put your mask on. The Dane County and the CDC have recommended, even if you're vaccinated, when you go indoors somewhere that's not your house, put your mask on, especially if you have kids and hang out with people who are unvaccinated, such as children. Stay safe. Take care of yourself. Stay cool. And we will see you again right around this time tomorrow. Have a good one.
This is 365 Media.